Welcome to the RSP Boiler Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. We're going to take a look at wide receiver Trevon Brown of East Carolina now. He's number 88 here at the top of your screen, outside twin right. I'm going to watch this play. This is a good example of great result, not so good process. 95-yard touchdown right here. Nice looking play. I mean, if you're an ECU fan, you got to be happy. If you're Trevon Brown and his teammates, you got to be happy. But if you're studying a wide receiver for the NFL game, you would look at this play and say, really good result. Process, maybe not as good as it needs to be. Now, I like the route. Let's look at the route one more time here. See how he gives this little turn to the outside right there at the top of the stem to widen it just enough for number 9 to have to hesitate a little bit before breaking to the inside here. That allows Brown a little more separation. Now here comes the ball. See how he's got his hands up, but the backs of his hands are facing the ball? Well, this is a passive hands position with the ball arriving. He's trying to catch it over his shoulder and kind of bucket style. And you see what happens when he does that? See the edge of the ball just kind of flying out there? He has to double catch this ball. What would you rather see? Well, when you're at chest level height or at helmet level height, extend the hands out so that the palms are facing the ball. The thumbs are together, the index fingers are together, and you're attacking the ball, having an active attack to catch it. Instead, he takes the passive way. The ball strikes his palms instead of his fingertips and flies through. He has to double catch it, and see how he has to reach to the outside to double catch it? Well, this is what you call a happy accident, folks, because he has to make this elongated step to reach down and make a second catch of the juggled ball. Number 9 overruns the play. He's able to dip outside of him, and then you're taking it, another 73 yards here for the touchdown. So happy accident here. But when you're looking at plays from the standpoint of evaluating a football player, or whether you're evaluating an employee or evaluating a student, whoever it is that you're evaluating and looking for opportunities to help them improve by giving them feedback, you want to look for the process over the result. And a good process is something that has replicatable details. Details that you can repeat that are efficient and productive. And so you can see here the route, that's pretty good. Sets up the break with that little bend out to the stem. So you see the knowledge there. That's nice. And it's technically sound. The hand position, not so technically sound for the route. This is not as preferable because it does create more likelihood for what you see here, the ball squirting out. So what you want to see with him is, on similar plays like this, will he use better hand position? Was this just one of those that he just misdiagnosed? And, this is one of those iffy plays where that can happen, where it's kind of in between being, over his shoulder and one that he could have attacked a little bit more. So you're going to want to look for more exposures of plays like this so that you can determine whether he has a good idea of when to decide to use certain types of hand position, or whether he needs work on these types of targets to use the correct kind so that this type of thing doesn't happen. Because in the NFL, if the coverage is a little tighter, the ball's thrown a little harder, he may not be consistently able to hang on to this. The pressure is a little bit greater on the bigger stage. And there are guys who make this type of play exactly the way this looks. In the NFL, we've seen them before. But at the same time, again, the technique is not repeatably good. It's not as efficient as it could be. And so it's these small details that are the difference between a top-notch NFL starter at the wide receiver position and a guy who may be on the bench or maybe competing for a roster spot or who's looking for a career as a football player in another league. So it's something that's important to see. Now we're going to look at another play after this that's very similar looking. And you can see him come downfield and make this catch in tight coverage this time. This is a more NFL caliber target because it's in tight coverage. So you're going to see him once again widen that route a little bit. The defender doesn't fall for it at all because they just saw him score a 95-yard touchdown on this route, right? So they're a little more savvy to this. And you're going to see him this time when the ball arrives. Active hand position. There you go. He's got his fingertips up, catching the ball, and with the defender trying to chop down on it, he's still able to make the catch. And he gains another, 15 yards, 15, 16 yards, but you can see the active hands position on this catch. That's a better display, and it's in a tougher situation. So, we had the good fortune on this particular situation to watch two exposures back to back on the same route, with one with more difficult coverage, and he uses the correct hand position and ends up being able to make the play. And he juggles the ball a little bit, but if he had to use passive hand position on this play, he probably never catches this ball at all because the defender is able to swat it away before the ball arrives. But because his hands are up and extended outward to the ball right there, he's able to catch it before the defender gets his hands on it, and then he's able to bring it in. And he gets that second chance opportunity because he's, again, catching with his fingertips and not battling it with his palms while the defender's hitting him. So this tells you he's capable of making the catch with the right technique. This probably was more of a judgment call on his end with the first route, where he didn't make really the best assessment in terms of diagnosing the hand position he needed to use. And this one he did. So all you're going to want to look for now when you start looking at exposures on these types of plays, you can see that they run this play a lot, is how often how consistent he is at using the correct hand position on these types of plays. And if he is, then that one play I showed where he juggled it and turned it into a 95-yard touchdown, it was a good process with a bad result, but he just happened to have, a moment of where the decision-making wasn't optimal. But you can see that it is possible, or that he does a good job with it in other instances. So those are some of the types of things that you sort out when you're looking at wide receiver play and studying a variety of games from a player or a variety of plays, and the types of process that you might go through when you're grading hands and hands technique and trying to discern between a couple of plays, because you're not making definitive decisions with just one play. And this hopefully will give you kind of an idea of at least the process that I go through when I'm watching wide receiver play, or really any position. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP Boiler Room videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, Matt Waldman's RSP Film Room, and my site, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.